Driving home from Santa Barbara to LA, and on the freeway, I see, once I get near LA, a big plume of smoke. And I know it's a fire. See them occasionally, but you know what it is. It's a fire. It might be a, grass fire. It might be a home. Might be a business. But am I worried? No. There's a whole team of people who are waiting for this kind of thing to happen and are responding to it on my behalf in some ways. I mean, I don't live in LA, but, I'm driving through it. It might impede my passage. I'm part of it, it's on behalf of all of us. These people are dealing with that fire, which is, what is fire? It's this innocuous, really indescribable thing. It really doesn't have substance, but we have teams of people who, their whole sole job is to combat that thing on behalf of us all. So, it's a tremendous demonstration of the cooperative project that we're all involved in, and that is making this thing called life another indescribable entity thing. There's no substance to it, life, but that's our project, and we're doing it together. We can't do it alone. It's been demonstrated. I don't think anyone could seriously posit that a human could survive on their own in the wild like a lot of animals do. We have to get together to perpetuate. It's hard. No one. Well, maybe someone could. I'd be interested to hear the argument. I don't think it's possible. So we get together. That's been our formula for success, is we collaborate and take care of the things that threaten us. And we get together and we take care of certain needs that we have to fulfill them or to make them go away, such as, hunger and shelter. That's all collaborative. We rely on each other, which means everyone, to solve those issues. Food, hunger, health care is another one of those things. And that's why some people call it a right, but they don't say we have a right to food or shelter. Some people do. Not really commonly accepted right now in 2016 that people have a right to that. I would say, there's definitely a segment of the population, but healthcare, we are hearing people allude to it as a right. And I don't know if I buy that. I don't know if I buy that as a right. I really see healthcare as an obligation. I think that it should be a single payer. Us, collectively, the government as a single payer is us. All of us, collaboratively, paying for this thing to happen. And I do think that we have an obligation to do that for each other. Just like we have an obligation to put out fires and, protect and serve the police things like that. So in that way, it is a fundamental. I wouldn't call it a right, though. I think that it's part of what we owe to each other. Rights are things that are given to you, I think, I don't know how to describe it, but God is close. There are inalienable rights given to us by our Creator, I think is a good way of putting it, that, precede a priori government. We give government power, I do believe that. So our rights come before the government. We create the government in order to form a more perfect union. That's how it's described in our Constitution, a wonderful document. We're on a project to create a more perfect union. Notice it doesn't say the first union, it says a more perfect union, which means it recognizes the fact that we're already involved in this collaborative project. And the reason that government is being established is because there's another layer that we're putting on top of that collaborative project in order to make it more perfect. Perfect being a euphemism. Obviously, nothing can ever be perfect, but more perfect, insinuating that it could be better. So that's what we're attempting to do. And in order to do that, and collectively, we're going to create an environment that is conducive to that, and healthcare is part of that. And the fact that we can provide healthcare, that we've gotten to such a level that it's something that we can provide. I mean, governments back, a couple hundred years ago, at the very least, sure, we could ask them to provide healthcare, but there was not much they could provide at that time, compared to what can be provided at this time. So the fact that we can provide healthcare comes from this collaborative project. It would have never come out of any other solo. I mean, it hasn't. So many facets to it that it's come out of this collective project. So it belongs to the collective. That sounds like a socialist, communist kind of statement, but I'm not going there. I'm just saying it came from our collective project. So it's something that we could give because it's ours. And there's benefits to giving it. It makes our union more perfect. It makes our citizens better able to perform their duties as a citizen and as a consumer. Our citizens have certain roles that we need them to play in order for our union to be more perfect. And citizen, consumer are a couple of them, and healthcare enables them to do that. So why not provide it as best we can, as cheaply as we can? Certainly people deserve to get paid for this service. That's why I don't call it a right, because we are asking other people to perform this service. So it's really an obligation. There are people who love doing it and are good at doing it, and we need them to do it. They deserve to get paid to do it, absolutely. The vital function. But at the same time, it has to be cost effective in order for it to be ultimately successful in aiding our more perfect union. So how do you keep the cost down? And frankly, my answer to that is that you take the profit motive out of it. I know that sounds communist, socialist as well, but I'm not advocating taking the profit motive out of everything. Hardly. I believe in the profit motive. It's a tremendous engine for growth. But in this instance, it's counterproductive. So that's what government can do for us. It can take the profit motive out of providing a resource that enables our citizens to become better able to serve in the roles that we need them to serve in, because this is a collaborative project. Why is the profit motive counterproductive to the healthcare? Well, obviously it increases the cost, but my argument is that by the nature of healthcare, it proportionally increases the cost, because profit motive is a tremendous growth engine in the free market, which is another area that we need our citizens to be stewards, play roles, and purchasing that decision is the fuel of the profit margin engine. And in the instance of healthcare, you can't make a decision when it comes, a rational decision, a free market decision. You can't make that kind of decision in the arena of healthcare. Your supply, your demand are just way out of whack, because your life is precious and you don't have the option of saying no. And that's what really is the key to free market growth profit center, is the consumer has to say no. That's our group decision on what's valuable and what's not. And consumers can't say no to healthcare. They don't have that option. So it does not work in the free market profit mode. And it's costing us. It's something that's, taking resources away from things that we could better apply those resources to. I'm talking about money here. So certainly, we need to figure out the best way to provide health care. It is possible to screw that up and be, counterproductive by, not providing enough incentive for service and development. And we definitely need to maintain, a level of that as growth and change are absolutely imperative. Can't stagnate. We got to bring good people in by offering a living wage or some other incentive. I mean, when I say a living wage, I mean something competitive, So it may be a stipend, a guarantee in retirement. I have to be a wage, but as a society, we can say you are valuable. We will take care of you. There may be certain things you can rely on. If you make this commitment to help us out, there's options. So that we have to do. We have to do it right. But still, it can't be based on free market decision process, because it's just not applicable. Can't say no.